Imagine this, you've just landed in Mexico, eager for a much-needed 7-day getaway to the stunning Caribbean beaches of the Riviera Maya. After what feels like an endless journey, you finally arrive at Cancun's modern international airport, but just as you're ready to breeze through customs and relax, something unexpected happened. In today's video, I'm breaking down an old rule that customs is enforcing, catching tourists by surprise, leaving many with hefty fines before they even dip a toe into Mexico's beautiful Caribbean waters. But before you pack your bags, let's dive into what you need to know to avoid these fines. Let's get it. What is good, Mexit planners? Getting through immigration and customs is the final step before kicking off your dream vacation in Mexico. For years, Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, and the Riviera Maya have been the go-to spots for many travelers. Whether it's for family vacations or destination weddings, many people haven't given much thought to customs or immigration rules. Well, the days of not thinking about the immigration and custom rules are over, and what you don't know could cost you. Lately, we've been hearing tons of stories from major international airports like Mexico City, Cancun, and even Merida. People I know have been caught up in this sudden crackdown on customs regulations. I'm not a lawyer, and I definitely haven't studied law in Mexico, but let me introduce you to Rule 3.2.3, a section of Mexican law that deals with what you can bring into the country without paying duties or taxes. Section 2 of Rule 3.2.3 states, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, that you can bring in 2 cameras or video recorders, photographic materials, 3 cell phones, GPS equipment, a portable printer, projector, and other accessories, and 1 laptop or similar device. Let me say that again. 1 laptop or similar device. Now, this last section, the 1 laptop or similar device, is the thing that's catching many folks by surprise. Let me share a story with you. Imagine this. You're tired from your flight, excited to start your trip, and all of a sudden you're pulled aside by customs. That's exactly what happened to a family member of ours. Last year we had a family member flying to Merida from Miami on American Airlines. She's an author and often travels with 2 laptops. When she arrived in Merida and went through customs, they stopped her and enforced Rule 3.2.3, Section 2, which states you're only allowed 1 laptop or similar device. But that's when the real stress kicked in. First of all, she doesn't speak Spanish. And second, her laptop was an inexpensive device that she snagged at Walmart during Black Friday for about $150. But they taxed her based on some value that customs came up with. And then to top it all off, her credit card wouldn't process at the payment terminal. And since she had just arrived, she didn't have any pesos on her. Can you imagine how stressful it must be for someone who doesn't speak the language, trying to pay a fine without cash, and the credit card machine isn't working? This is a situation that's been happening a lot recently all across the country. A quick Google, Reddit, or Facebook search will show you plenty of similar stories. Now, before we go any further, let me be extremely clear. Mexico is absolutely within their rights to enforce its rules just like any other country. And not knowing the rules isn't an excuse, and just because the rules were not enforced before doesn't mean you won't be held to them now. Part of the rules seem a bit outdated. For example, not many people are traveling with DVDs or printers these days, but plenty of folks are carrying both a laptop and a tablet. And under this new enforcement, tablets are being considered as computers. To be honest, I've traveled with both a laptop and a tablet before and never had issues. It's important to respect custom laws wherever you travel. The inconsistency in enforcement across Mexico can be extremely frustrating. In some tourist-heavy areas, bribes and corruptions are known to happen, and getting hit with a hefty fine the moment you arrive in Mexico can feel a bit like extortion, even though the agents are technically well within their rights. Let's face it, most people won't argue when they've already paid for a vacation that costs 10 times as much as the fine, but it definitely doesn't leave a great first impression. So what can you do to protect yourself in these situations? Well, here are a few key things to keep in mind. It's super important to know the laws and customs of the country you're visiting. Being informed travelers can help you navigate stressful situations more smoothly, especially if there's a language barrier. Now, I've heard of fines ranging from 19% of the determined value, which the customs agents decide on, to threats of confiscation or even worse. I know someone who had their child's laptop confiscated. The standard fine I've seen online is about $200 US or 4,200 pesos. So try to avoid bringing multiple laptops or tablets if at all possible. And if that's not possible, declare the value at customs and bring proof of purchase. If you declare the devices, they might consider the price you paid for the devices, but there's no guarantee. Either way, you're still likely to have to pay a fine, but it could be lower than if customs determine the value themselves. If you don't declare the item, then they'll decide what the device is worth. Next, make sure you have some form of cash on you. While US dollars are usually accepted in tourist areas of Mexico, that's not always the case in places like Merida or other real parts of Mexico. I usually recommend getting pesos from the airport ATM, but just make sure you avoid the dynamic currency conversion. And if you don't know what the dynamic currency conversion is, check out the Money Talks playlist up here. However, if you're still going through the customs process, getting money out of an ATM might not even be an option because you technically haven't even entered the country. So it's smart to carry a bit of cash or different types of credit cards with you, like a Visa card or a MasterCard, to have multiple options. It's not uncommon for merchants to have different terminals for different types of cards. Lastly, stay calm and be polite. A positive attitude will go a long way in speeding up the process. Keep in mind that the customs agents don't make the rules, they just enforce them. So be respectful at all times. To wrap up our story of our family member, she ended up being fined around $100 on a device that didn't cost much more than that. Because she couldn't pay the fine with her credit card, one of the customs agents escorted her out to the ATM to withdraw pesos. She paid the fine and was on her way. The whole ordeal delayed her arrival about 30 to 45 minutes, but she still had a fantastic few weeks with us in Merida, and we were grateful to have her. If you found this video helpful in any way, please like and share this video with family and friends who will be traveling to Mexico. Until next time, MexitPlans Monty, move!